Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the rest of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is January 7th, 2025, and it looks as if Bitcoin is bouncing, but make no mistake, Bitcoin is in an impulsive move to the downside, and it will go down more likely than not, much lower than most people think. So we're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about altcoins. If that all interests you, then watch until the very end. Hope everyone's having a great day. Let's get started with Bitcoin. And I want to start specifically, purposefully on the smaller time frames, because I want to show you this reversal. All right, it's not a complete reversal, but it's just a bounce. It's an intra-wave correction, as it were. And I'm spying it now. All right, so basically what I'm seeing is for the past, let's see, let's measure this. For the past 5 hours or so, Bitcoin has been putting in this falling wedge, okay? And we know falling wedges are bullish reversal patterns. They typically break to the upside, and that's what it looks like this one's doing right now. So what I expect, just not to bury the lead, as it were, one of the reasons this is a bullish reversal pattern is that although the price is going lower, the price action is quite bullish, because in going lower, it's actually consolidating. It's putting in your requisite accumulation pattern, right? So 3 AB bases, right? 1, 2, 3. And that's why you can break out of a falling wedge. It doesn't always happen, but more often than not, you get that breakout to the upside, okay? And I'm seeing this happening in a larger context of a huge move to the downside. So yeah, this is what we've been talking about since last year, quite literally. We even said in one episode, it was titled The Great Crash of 2024. Missed it by a few days. It's 2025. I thought it was going to happen last year because it was clear on the charts ever since we got this big move to the downside from 108. In any case, our B wave is finished. The B wave we were talking about in this big, massive zigzag pattern, this is officially done. Okay, we hit our target, as we said yesterday, of 102K. And I said this here. What did I say? I said, look out for a quick turn, because here we turned on a dime, went from A right into B. Don't be surprised if you get something similar here. And actually, it honestly even took me off guard, because I'm like, such a big move. You're going to have to put in a decent amount of consolidation. I thought, okay, that's going to take a few days at the very least. And in that time, altcoins that are meant to run will run. Wrong. This happened much quicker than I even anticipated. And you can see this. You did get your requisite consolidation, right? A distribution. It was very short. But this goes to show you where the price wants to go. All right, I've been talking about for weeks, actually, that look at, well, not for weeks, for days, while we were in this C wave, this impulsive move, corrective impulsive move, right? I was saying, look how the matriculation is labored. It's not smooth. There are no single, quick, strong candles, barring the final push up. Really, everything was so labored. And I said, once we turn around into the C wave, you're going to see what the price really wants to do. And it's going to show you, because the quality of the price action will show you the ease with which it matriculates in that direction. That's the direction of the trend. The trend was down from 108. This is counter trend. This is trend. Once the price is trending, it has a certain verb, it has a certain energy, it has a certain quality to it that's kind of it's easy, it's not labored, it's effortless. And this is what this impulse looks like, right? It's it's an actual impulse to the downside where you just move. You just move down. So right now we're in counter trend and we're going to go up. More likely than not, we're going to touch 100K once again. And let me say this. If our Elliott wave principles are accurate and they're consistent, we have about 20 hours to go up, okay? Because wave 1 and 2 typically take around the same time. And so if this was wave 1, which obviously it should be, given that we moved down so quickly and impulsively and we broke the purple box and everything like that, it was a significant move to the downside. The counter should take around the same time, right? So we should have 3 waves to the upside that takes about the same time as it took to the downside. And as you can see, it's taken us about 20 hours down, so it should take us approximately 20 hours up. So I'm expecting for us to go up in a labored fashion back to 100K for the rest of today and then into tomorrow morning, where around tomorrow afternoon, noontime, or a little bit before, we get another move down. That it should be around 11, right? 20 hours, something like that, okay? So this is what I'm seeing on the Bitcoin chart. A lot of people are going to think that that was it and that was some sort of capitulative move and now we can keep going up. There's another interesting thing I think is going to take place in the time that Bitcoin is going retesting 100K, going into that wave 2, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But let me finish with Bitcoin. So, higher time frame. So we go on our weekly chart. Like I said in the beginning, I think this goes down much lower than people think. But I think this happens quickly. I said, and I've been telling all my clients, you guys can vouch, I like mid-January for a bottom. I've said that for 2 reasons. One being that historically, we typically, and I'm not a seasonality guy, but typically the first quarter of after a halving, the Q1 after a halving tends to be really, really good, okay? And then the second reason is mid-January is in and around full moon, and full moons historically, like probabilistically give us local market bottoms. So I'm guessing this impulse just burns down for another week and gives us our bottom that most people think is kind of out of the question, but that bottom is so in play. If you look at this, look at our stochastic RSI momentum indicator. It's about to cross bullish on the weekly, but it looks like it has about a week before crossing bullish. I think you get these K and D lines to cross bullish once we get down here in about a week. I think it takes a week, and next week around this time, we should be around. We should be talking universal bottoms, not just for Bitcoin, not just for some select altcoins. Because, like I said yesterday, I can see a few select altcoins moving. Like, even now, I'm going to talk about altcoins in just a second, so hold on. But I still do see some select altcoins moving. I still see that. And I see them moving to the point where whatever drawdowns they had up until now for today, expect them to close with green daily candles. Expect them to close with green. This is what I'm seeing. I'll show you that in a second. All right. So yes, I do think Bitcoin's coming down much further than people think. Like somebody left a comment, hey, is this zigzag going to be a one-to-one thing? And I don't think so, right? I.e., so this zigzag, this C wave, if I can catch it, comes down the same amount as the A wave. No. The C wave doesn't have to do one-to-one the C wave of a zigzag. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it's basically just the entry, the introduction to the impulse that you're getting, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to stop at a 1 Fibonacci extension of your A wave. So I don't think it's likely at all in any way, shape, or form that Bitcoin finds support around 80K or 90K. I think that's ludicrous. It doesn't make any sense. Technically, it doesn't make any sense. Let's look at why it doesn't make any sense. Zoom out. This is an easy read. The hard part is timing it. The hard part is waiting for it. The hard part is not getting shaken out. The read itself is quite elementary. I mean, look at this, guys. Look, and we've talked about this before. You have your inverse head and shoulders mega bullish reversal pattern on a high time frame, and this has been forming for 4 years. The neckline of which is all the way down at 65K, 65 to 70K. For such a large pattern, right? We need kind of a bit of a margin of error. So 65 to 70K, I think, would be fair. Next, you have this descending broadening wedge that you broke out of, and you put in your so-called Trump pump. That neckline is at 65 to 70K. Why would you ever think 80K? Like, nothing says 80K, nothing says 90K. Everything says that the imbalance on this chart will be rebalanced, and everything that you put in, all the green candles with no red candles that you put in since early November, are getting filled and rebalanced. Simple read. It's a simple read. It's just people don't want to acknowledge it because it may be what you call max pain, a max pain scenario where a lot of people get shaken out, a lot of people lose a lot because they refuse to take profits. But I'm seeing this, I'm going to keep saying this, 65 to 70K, 65 to 70K. No, not 75, not 80, not 85, not 89. I understand you want to mitigate the run, but the chart's telling me 65 to 70K, so why am I going to say otherwise? 65 to 70K is 65 to 70K. And I think 65 is the more prudent call because it's just where it's at, right there, 65K. And it will happen a lot faster than people think. And I said this last year, and it sounds funny because it was just a month ago or something. But don't be surprised if this move happens in such a fashion, right? Look, so many people, very few people, I know some other analysts, some good analysts, some of whom, comment on this channel from time to time, also see similar things. But even among the people who see Bitcoin going down, few people say 65 to 70K. Don't be surprised if this move, the speed and the distance that it covers to the downside, catches so many people off guard that exchanges go down. I'm repeating myself from last month. Exchanges go down. Hedge funds, trading firms go down. Certain outfits go bankrupt because they can't see this. And they won't acknowledge this. But I think it's quite clear, guys. I think it's quite clear. I think it's really important when you're doing technical analysis, just acknowledge what the chart is telling you and deal with it. Just deal with it. Even if it's against you, you want to just deal with it. That's the best way to do it. Deal with it. That is a very high likelihood. Nobody knows for sure. It's always probabilistic, but probabilistically, that is likely to happen. 65 to 70K, Bitcoin really comes down, and it really comes down hard. For those reasons, I'm going to segue into altcoins. For those reasons, it only makes more sense that altcoins run. Not all altcoins. Okay, again, please understand what I'm saying. Some people misunderstood and they're trying to troll me. I don't really care. By the way, thanks for watching, for those of you who are trolling. I'm not saying all altcoins are going to run, but if Bitcoin is dumping this hard, this fast, and let's say, and I don't know that this is what it's going to look like, but this is just a rough estimate as to what the matriculation can look like in terms of Elliott wave, an Elliott wave impulse, right? We got wave 1 and wave 2. I think that's quite easy. But then when you go into wave 3, wave 4, it's hard. But I think wave 3 is going to be like, wave 3s are. The hardest, the fastest, the strongest, the quickest, the worst of the Elliott waves. I think Bitcoin goes down 20% like that. And we may not even find support. It may go down even further than 20%. I think we find some semblance of some support around the midline of this multi-year channel. So I think after tomorrow around noon, and then we start going down, we start really puking 20-25%. If Bitcoin's doing that, imagine what altcoins are going to do. So keep that in mind. If this is a high probability read for Bitcoin, what are altcoins going to do? Are they just going to hold pat? No, they're going to go down just as much, if not more. So those altcoins that are at support, guess what? There's nowhere for them to go. They have to cover some ground before the storm comes. Before the storm comes, they have to batten down the hatches. They have to go to the grocery store. They have to get whatever people get before storms at the grocery store. I don't know why people get ice at grocery stores. I don't know why. That seems weird. But like you always watch movies, people, a storm's coming. A twister's coming. Fred, we gotta go to the store. And they go get bags of ice. What? Anyway, they're gonna go and get provisions for this big drawdown. And those provisions are moves to the upside in the next 20 hours. This is what I'm seeing. And we're going to look at Bitcoin dominance in just a second. So I said this yesterday. At some point in time, certain altcoins, not all altcoins, but certain altcoins have to make big moves to the upside to be able to withstand this. Because then if they move big to the upside, then the retracement follows suit. It's normal and natural. But there's nowhere for them to go because they're already at support. That was my reasoning. Still is my reasoning. So this is what I'm seeing. Yesterday, or tomorrow rather, I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, 20-25% move to the downside. And then we get one of these wave 4 corrections. And then we finish the job on the weekend at some point with a move. And then what happens here, which is what happens in before every single bull market, is you come down and then you go up. That is what I see happening. This is what's happened 6-7 times in the past. Before the bull market starts, you come down so much and then you just rock it up. This is what I see this time as well. Okay, so that's my read on Bitcoin. I know there's a lot of new subscribers. Welcome. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I've explained this before, but I'm re-explaining it because there are a lot of new subscribers. There are a lot of new subscribers, and I think it's worth mentioning once again. Now, let's go into the altcoins. I've already kind of hinted at what I'm seeing in the altcoin space, but this is why I'm tentatively long on some altcoins. Tentative. Operative word. You have to be very careful, right? Very, very careful because these are pro moves, okay? These are pro moves. You have to be super cautious. So if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not exactly sure, just don't go long until Bitcoin comes down to these areas, right? Don't buy until Bitcoin comes down to these areas because there's only a select few altcoins that are likely to put up those big moves to the upside. One such altcoin, I think, is Balancer. It's already at support. Where does it have to go, right? If you look at this, that's not the right chart. This chart right here. If you look at this chart, where is it going to go? Where does it have to go? It's already gone down enough, and it's already close to a bottom, close to the midline of its descending channel. I see it putting in this move. And then when Bitcoin comes down, I see it putting in that move. So basically, in the next 20 hours, I see it going up 85%, something like that. And then after Bitcoin comes down 20%, it goes down 30%. This is the type of move that I'm expecting in the altcoin space in the next 20 hours. Not all the altcoins, but some select few altcoins. Another one. Hook protocol, right? What else? VRA. Like, there's certain things that are already at support. You don't want to fade, and you shouldn't expect that they have too much to go down. Conversely, certain things that have already run, like XLM, Stellar Lumens, like Cardano, right? They're clearly distributing. They're clearly going to come down much more when Bitcoin goes down. They're going to do their little wave 2 correction thing, go up marginally in the next 20 hours. But come tomorrow afternoon, they're also going to put in their big moves, and they're going to start puking like Bitcoin, right? But they are going to go down further, but because they're altcoins with lower market caps. So if Bitcoin goes down 20%, they might go down 30%, right? Something like that. So this is what I'm seeing in the cryptocurrency space. And let's revisit our Bitcoin dominance chart really quickly. Look, this is pretty much at a top. Our stochastic RSI momentum indicator tells us that, right? And if you zoom out, the read that I made yesterday still stands. We're still retesting old support as new resistance, right? You had this M-top bearish reversal pattern. You broke down from it. Now you retest it. Yeah, you wick above a little bit, but that's still coming. This move is still coming, okay? That move is still coming, and I'm still expecting that in the altcoin space, not for every altcoin, but for select few altcoins, okay? And this right here looks like some sort of distributive pattern that's happening. So I do see this coming down. So that's what I really believe in terms of what altcoins are going to do in the next 20 or so hours from the time of recording. I'm recording this around 4:25 p.m. And so, yeah, Bitcoin is going to go back up more likely than not to 100K, retest the 0618, and then tomorrow around 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, right, 20 hours from the bottom, which I believe this was the bottom of this particular move, with our rising wedge, or falling wedge rather, breaking to the upside. I think now you get a resumption of the trend. And that wave 3, if you guys thought this was crazy, you haven't seen anything yet. A lot of people are going to get liquidated. A lot of firms are going to get liquidated. Exchanges are not going to be accessible, so on and so forth. The usual that we see in the cryptocurrency space. So get ready for it. Guys, that's it from me. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe in this space. If you found value in this video and the information conveyed, consider tipping me by sending me a Venmo, a Cash App, or sending me Litecoin, all at the pinned comment below. And consider subscribing to my crypto portfolio consultation service, $150 a month. I go one-on-one with you for 1 to 2 hours every month, and I help you balance your portfolio, find assets that are actually going to give good gains in the coming bull market, because not everything is going to pump. And I help you with entries and exits for those 5 assets. And guys, thank you for signing up for KCEX, my partner, the exchange partner for this channel. That's really helpful, really helps support the channel. And it's good for you too, because you sign up, and upon signing up, I mean, they're really generous. They're a, up and coming exchange. So I guess they just want subscribers. They're giving out money like left and right just for signing up. So you can use that to trade the volatility. If you lose the money, you lose the money, whatever. It's just bonus exchange money that's given by the exchange on offer. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. That's it for me. Take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.